Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to Step Into Your Sunshine. This is your host, Rachel Coudron. I am the owner of Etsy Boutique, Coudron's Curiosities, and I am the copywriter of RC Copywriting. Now, today, I want to dive into a topic that has really helped me transform my copywriting business and has helped many other entrepreneurs write more effective marketing. Now, this, you might think, I'm not a business owner. I'm not sure I want to listen to this. But that would be a mistake because this topic can be applied to business, life, marriage, parenthood, relationships, all of these things, because it opens up who you are as a person and allows you to understand your needs and your motives, but more importantly, allows you to understand others' motives and needs and why they make the decisions that they do. Now, as you know, if you've listened to my previous podcast, I adore Tony Robbins, and I had the absolute pleasure of attending UPW in Birmingham in July. Now, I knew about this method much, much, much before I went to UPW. I used it in my business, and now I want to share that with all of you. Now, this method or methodology that I practice is knowing what are the 6 human needs that are outlined by Tony Robbins. Now, let's get into them. What are they? What do we all need in our lives? Now, this is a need, not a want. And the difference is that we will do whatever is necessary, even damage, destroy a relationship, a friendship, a marriage, if these needs are not met. This is serious, guys. You guys need to tune in. The first one is certainty. This is having the need to feel safe, secure, certain. Now, let's break down a few different areas of life for you. In business, this could be that you restrain from taking an opportunity or taking a step forward unless you are certain that this is going to benefit your business. This could be in relationships, this could be in monetary value, but you need to be certain that there is a benefit for you before you take that jump. In marriage, this could be that you need to be certain, 100% certain that this is the person for you before you want to get married. That you may have a little doubts, and that stops you from becoming married or continuing with your marriage because you start to doubt that this is the person for you anymore. And that uncertainty is challenged. That certainty is challenged. In parenthood, this could mean restraining your children from having experiences because you're not certain that they're going to be safe, or you don't know enough details about that field trip or spending a night at the friend's house because you need the certainty that they are going to be safe and secure. And the reality is that we can't have 100% certainty. And for people that really value certainty as their highest needs, that scares the shit out of them. That they feel paralyzed to make decisions because they can't be certain that they're worth it. Does this describe you? Are you feeling seen and heard while you're tuning into this podcast? The next one, number 2 need, is variety. So quite literally the opposite of certainty. That you don't need to know that things are going to be certain. You need adventure. You need multiple experiences. You need to feel like you control, own, and dictate your future. That you need to be doing all these different things so you can have all these different experiences. You go on vacation and you want to do every adventurous thing that you could think of. And in marriage, that could be devastating. If you look at the negative side of variety, is that you want to be with somebody different. You feel the urge, the need to be with somebody different because your partner has become too complacent, or because you've become too complacent. Am I getting into the feels of how you guys are reacting to what I'm saying? Do you feel called out? Because I promise you, when I first heard about the human needs, I sure did. Because I knew immediately which ones applied to me, which ones dictated my decision making. The next one is significance. Now, guys, remember, this is not a choice. It's not a want. It's not a desire. It's a need. That there are people, and many people that have the need to feel significant. Now, this is manifested in multiple different ways, but it is a living, breathing need. And like I said at the beginning, people will do whatever is necessary to access this need. That even means destroying relationships, experiences, because their need to feel significant is not addressed. Now let's talk about the gritty things here. When people need to feel significant, it's not just about showing their power, but it's being honored for their power. That they need to be first. They need to be the breadwinner of the house. They need to be the most important person in your life. They need you to ooh and ah over their accomplishments, their accolades. They want to be rewarded in business because that's what makes them feel significant. And in your marriage, this could look like someone always needing to be right, someone always needing to be praised for their efforts, that they need to feel significant, like they're adding value to their life and they need to be recognized for it. Now, for some of you guys, this might be triggering. Maybe it's you, or maybe you will have a partner or a child or a coworker where you know automatically that this is one of their highest needs, is to feel significant. You know, that person that comes over and talks about all their cool experiences that they had on their vacation and how it was a once in a lifetime trip and they worked so hard to get there. You know what I'm talking about. You know these kinds of people. And maybe it's you. They need to feel significant. Now, this can also be a positive. It can drive you to better results. It can drive you to having that polished, beautiful, everybody envies marriage because you are determined to be the best. There's always two sides to every coin. Let's move on to number 4. which for me hits me right in the center of my heart. It is love and connection. And without a doubt, this is my highest need. Every single decision I make is filtered through my understanding of love and connection. Does this impact my family? How much does it? Does this take me away from my family? And these could be real things, or they could be perceived and made up in my mind. My family is my highest priority, and every single one of my decisions is filtered through that lens. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, oh, that's wonderful. Your family is number one. Yes, that's where I want to be, or I'm like that too. And yes, there's positives to it. Just like significance, there's two sides to every coin. Now, as I know this personally, I want to share with you some of my insights to the struggling side of that coin. And that means that if I perceive a decision I'm making in business to affect my family negatively, then I will unconsciously step away from that decision. Because in my mind, my need is telling me this is going to take you further away from this need. And that's really not acceptable. So you need to do something to remedy this immediately, because I have to be fed. That need has to be fed of love and connection. And every time that I decide to choose my family, my love and connections over my own personal desires, then that link, that liaison in my mind is strengthened again and again and again, until it's one of the only decision makers in my mind. And this can have detrimental effects on business, because every time it's happened just last year, I worked my ass off to be given big opportunities to step into a more powerful business owner. But when I began to think about those opportunities and they were presented to me, I perceived them as taking time away from my family. And I unconsciously took a step back and I didn't respond. And then I questioned myself. It's like, why in the hell would I do that? I worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked to get there. And then I just let it all fall apart once I got the opportunity. And I had to do some work on myself, on my money mindset over the last year to unravel what was going on inside of me, what was going on inside of my mind. And it's the same thing with family. Now, for me, my core family is my daughter and my husband, and they come before everyone and anyone else in my life. And from the outside, if I perceive, think, know, whichever the words you want to use, that something on the outside of those two people is affecting the health, the happiness, the joy, the prosperity of those two people, then I will do whatever it takes to eliminate that risk. And this isn't always a good thing, because for me to be very vulnerable and transparent, that also means if family events are going too long, then I perceive that as being detrimental, and that my daughter's not going to get enough sleep, or I'm not going to get enough sleep, or my husband's not going to get enough sleep. And then XYZ is going to happen. Now, I don't even know if these things are going to happen, but I perceive that this is the truth. And in my body, my mind is like, yeah, obviously that's the truth. I mean, what could be a different truth? And then I start to interfere. I want to go home. I don't want to stay here anymore, because this is obviously a detriment to my core family. And this isn't always a good thing, because I felt prior to UPW that I had no control of this. It was like, this is just how I'm wired, and this is what's going to happen. And I need you to understand that this is my process. It's not in my head. It wasn't about me. It was about protecting those that I held most dear in my life. And if you can resonate with this, I would love for you to reach out to me on Facebook, Rachel Jennings Coudron. I would love to hear your thoughts, because for me, this is what it's like. And I've known for years that my family, my love for them and my connectedness to them determines my choices. And I've also known over the last year, and especially at UPW, that I'm going to have to switch that need. I'm going to have to actively work on honoring that need, but also limiting it so it doesn't take over my life, so it doesn't impact all of my business choices, so it doesn't take me away from other parts of my life that are also equally important. Now, number 5 on the needs list is growth. Now, this is more of a spiritual related need, that we need to feel growth in our life. You know that person, and maybe it was you too, that has been sitting at their desk or in the same job day in, day night, and they're suffering because they feel like they have not experienced growth in their life. Like they're at the same place that they've been for the last 20 years, or they start reflecting and they realize, like, I got this job before I got my degree, and I'm still in this job doing the same thing, and there is no growth. Or they don't feel like they're growing as a human, emotionally, physically, in their relationships, mentally. And it triggers a response. Now, for me, I'm a black and white kind of gal sometimes, and it's either a response that's a self-loathing response, like I haven't had any growth, and of course it's happened because of this, and this, and all the things that have happened to me. Or you have an empowered response, that I have not seen the growth that I would like, and now I have to do something about it. I have to take back that power. I have to put myself a to-do list, a vision, a guide, so that I can start taking the steps to reclaim my power, to grow into the person that I am meant to become. Now, for me, this is also one of my top needs, the growth. I always need to feel like I'm growing. I love to learn. I always loved school. It's one of the initial reasons I became a teacher, because I could imagine nothing better than being a teacher and molding the young minds of tomorrow, to teach them to plant that love of learning. It was one of the greatest gifts I've ever been given. And I've always kept that near and dear to my heart, that I always want to be growing. I don't want to be in a stable, comfortable position where I think I know everything about my business, about my life, my marriage, parenthood, all of those things. I want to constantly be growing. And this is a wonderful, wonderful thing. But also sometimes you grow and you grow and you grow and you don't implement. And you're taking in all this information, hungry for more and more and more and more and more and more. But then you're not taking the time to implement those strategies or new things that you're learning into your life, into your business, into your marriage, into your relationships. And sometimes people can get caught up there. Now, the last one is contribution. I would love to hear from you if you believe that your top need is contribution. I would also love to hear from you if you feel like you're being called out and you can relate to this episode. Because I know for me, when I heard about the human needs, I felt called out, like, wow, that is so me. But I also felt like, wow, somebody understands me. And I hope that you feel the same. Now back to need number 6, contribution. Now, you have a need to contribute to the lives of others. Now, this could be a giving heart, that one of your whys in your business or in your life is to be able to give as much as you can to impact the people that need you the most. You are guided by contributing to other people's lives, that you love to help people out, that you are at your highest state, that you feel most empowered when you're offering advice to others and you're not asking for anything in return. You're contributing to the development and the growth of their lives, their business, their marriage, their journey through parenthood. Contribution at the highest level. Now, I can tell you, my purpose of developing holistic retreats in France is just this. I want to contribute to the men and women around me that feel lost, that they feel disempowered, they feel like their identity is stolen, or they don't even know who they are anymore. I want to contribute to those that have health problems, chronic or acute. And I want them to know that there are other options. I want to contribute to their lives. I want to give them what has been given so generously to me. And then the money that is raised out of this event, I want to make sure that I am giving a portion of it to those same people that need me, to those charities that represent women who don't have enough resources or enough education, or their governments don't allow them to become educated women that make their own decisions, or girls that don't get a chance to go to school because their government doesn't allow them, or their country doesn't find their worth. I'm on a mission to impact millions. I want to contribute to millions of people's lives. I know that this is my calling. I know that this is my purpose. I would like to challenge you guys to think about these needs: certainty, variety, significance, love and connection, growth, contribution. Where does your subconscious tell you that you belong? What are your top 2? I'd love, love, love to hear from you. And I would love for you to reflect on your top 2. How has your life, your business, your parenting choices, your relationships been impacted by these needs? Have you empowered people? Have you used people to meet these needs? It's an incredible reflection time. Take a moment and journal about this, because you will open up doors that you didn't know exist. I want to thank you all for taking the time to tune in today. Connecting with you is one of my greatest honors and pleasures throughout my week. Every Monday and Thursday, we have a new episode at 8 p.m. Central European Time, 7 p.m. UK time, BST time, and 1 p.m. U.S. Central Standard Time. I cannot wait to talk to you guys soon.